Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we're going to be talking about a massive glitch that's been happening still for the past 6 months with the PlayStation 5 that Sony still at this point has barely even ever addressed. And I want to talk about this, kind of showcase this on up, and just have an overall talk on this because it is somewhat kind of crazy that it still is even existing. Now, of course, we're going to be talking about the PS5 rest mode glitch. I'm sure many of you guys have either heard about this, if you guys have been trying to get your consoles or just even had your consoles. And of course, before you guys get too worried, if you guys just got your consoles or are still trying to go get one, don't worry. This is only a very sporadic and does not necessarily affect out that many people out there with their consoles. And I can always go and vouch because I myself had to go through the recovery period with my PS5. I actually had to send my PS5, my very first one, to Sony themselves to fix it. And thankfully that process was super easy. So it's not the end of the world, but it's kind of more so crazy on the drama of it and the fact that Sony still has not really fully addressed it. So I'm going to be using this as a reference. Over here I have Tom's Guide article and kind of use that to kind of go and kind of clarify my own thoughts and kind of chime on into it. And I'd actually like to go hear your thoughts down below. If you guys are still trying to get your console, you guys can always go comment that. But as well, if you guys actually did get your console, let me know if you guys actually had to deal with this issue or even worried about this issue as well, because it has been floating around a while. And of course, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well. Make sure you guys get your bonus entries with the Linktree links down below. We have the Amazon links down below for the consoles, warehouse, and all that stuff. You guys can go and check. We also do have the Weeble. Sign up for Weeble, deposit $100, and you guys go get free stock, free money. Coinbase, you guys go buy $100 worth of any cryptocurrency. You guys go and get free Bitcoin. And also just make sure you guys always just go and enjoy the videos. Leave a like and comment down below your thoughts on this. So as I mentioned, this video is still on the PS5 rest mode glitch. And this has been like 6 months since it came out. So let's go and kind of talk about it. So to kind of start this on off over here, we still have major crazy issues with the actual PS5 rest mode. Now, I want to go and talk about this too, because I actually have been seeing this pop on up every now and then from people in the community. As I mentioned myself, I've been actually to go deal with this. Now, we actually have had a few statements themselves stating that Sony wanted to go and fix it, / has fixed it. So ideally, the actual percentage of it should actually go down and down since this actually been addressed. But as of right now, we are still seeing people bring this up. And I've still actually had a few occasional comments in my Twitch chat or Twitter that also still have this. So I'm kind of curious more on, is this still a really big drama? And I think it is. I think it's still bad. So it's not that bad. It's not end of world bad, but it's still kind of something that Sony has to address. So, kind of starts off over here for this editorial. I can't stop playing my PS5. It's already making a strong claim to be my favorite console of all time, which I could agree with. Whenever all these brand new games come out in a few weeks like Ratchet and Clank, I'm very hyped up. So I've even, discussed they love the console in the past. I'm in the same exact boat. But anyway, nevertheless, there's one feature of the PS5 that I barely use to this day: rest mode. This isn't because I don't think being able to suspend games or download updates in the background is useful. I really use rest mode because for a number of users, myself included, this feature has caused hardware issues. So the kind of reason why I bring this up again is because I actually had my entire console bricked on the initial launch week, as well as I also have seen a lot of people in the community also still having these issues, which is really not good because apparently this was supposed to be fixed, but this issue I think is still coming around and still happening for a lot of folks. If it's happening to you in the comments down below, feel free to as well. You need to search far to go find PS5 owners complaining about issues with rest mode. There's YouTube videos warning you to never put your console into a suspended state, which I agree with. I almost barely ever use my rest mode. If that, I'd rather just be on my console, like watch it actually download. It's always kind of creepy and weird, but like I'll literally go and see like the download bar move as I'm downloading stuff. There's also been Reddit threads with hundreds of comments trying to get to the bottom of why the feature causes issues with some consoles, and even reports from some major media outlets outlining the issues, which we've seen that happen a lot, especially in the first like 2-3 months of launch itself. And of course, for every person who claims rest mode has caused their console to crash or save data to corrupt, there's someone who retorts, I put my PS5 in rest mode every night since I got it and launched without issue. So it seems to be a problem only affecting a certain portion of the consoles, which is actually good. Like I said, don't get like too worried about it, but it does happen. And if it does happen, make sure you guys do go and contact Sony because it might just be internal hardware issues. At least what we've kind of been seeing. So trying to figure out what the exact problems are and what causes them is pretty tricky. Internet whispers seem to suggest a whole range of faults from every user's experience is different. But having doing some research and drawing from my own personal experience, here's what's wrong with the actual rest mode, which I'm kind of more intrigued on this and kind of if you guys are curious on this overall. If you search the internet forums, you'll quickly find players reporting all sorts of issues with the PS5 rest mode. These problems range from their DualSense inputs not being recognized. I thankfully never had that issue, but I did see a lot of people have that issue before. after waking up the console from a stint in a suspended state, to more significant technical fails like hardware crashes that require systems be rebuilt in safe mode. That did actually happen to me when I was playing Demon Souls on my original console, and that's why I had some issues with the rest mode slash saving my files and basically my console fully corrupted, which is kind of bad. If you guys, like I keep saying, if you guys ever have these issues that are still kind of floating around, send it into Sony. They will fix it ASAP and usually give you priority shipping, and most of the time just send you out a new console. I've personally been brushing 2 encounters with the PS5 rest mode that still have spooked me from using this feature. The first one was a couple weeks after launch when I attempted to plug in a USB storage drive and download a game onto it. My console crashed the second I tried to wake it up from rest mode to check the game's download status. And we've seen that actually a lot happen, just where people are just like casually wanting to go download a game, download Call of Duty, whatever it is, and then they put it in rest mode, and then a day later they try to turn it on and everything's just broken, braked, and you just can't even turn on the console, which is bad. And of course, thankfully, this is actually, getting better and better and better, but it stinks because it still is kind of floating around after all these months. This experience, along with the similar testimonials online, put me off of using the function for a good while. I myself included, I barely ever used the rest mode. If you guys use it, leave a comment down below just so we know. However, last month when playing the PS5 exclusive Returnal for review, I was forced to use rest mode to the actual lack of save function. And for the vast majority of my playthrough, I was able to suspend the game and pick up where I left off without a problem. But during one session, I woke the console from rest mode, and around a minute later, my game froze. Which we actually have been seeing those issues floating around a lot, which is not good. So these are the 2 more important and intriguing stuff when it comes to PS5 rest mode. So what is actually causing it? This is the big question, and it's probably one that only Sony could definitely answer. Online theories about what exactly has caused multiple PlayStation 5 owners to experience issues with rest mode. Basically, during the very first few weeks, basically a lot of people thought it was tied to Spider-Man Miles Morales, which I actually thought too as well. Like, I thought Demon Souls and Spider-Man, I thought those are the issues crashing consoles, breaking consoles, because like I said, my console actually broke from me playing Demon Souls. So it's kind of surprising that it's actually still going on, and people have been seeing the issues even in the article stated on things in like Returnal, where you would think that at this point, like if it was a game issue or a hardware issue, they'd have it fixed, which is kind of scary. Thankfully, once again, those is very, very small amounts of people. It's not the world's, worst experience, and usually Sony will fix them very easily. But it's kind of more so intriguing that it's still actually going on. So basically, in particular, it caused a not significant amount of gamers to experience crashes whenever trying to put the game into a suspended state when they're playing all these games. Another also theory too as well was it had to do with doing stuff with like USB drives plugged into your console, as some users reported rest mode issues after beefing up their PS5 storage capabilities. And this is actually where some people have actually noted that they actually had that same issue. I myself, I did not do anything with my USB storage, but I did also have my controllers on, and I do actually have custom USB stuff, so I'm kind of curious if that does anything or not with that. And lastly, on over here, will Sony ever address this issue that still keeps on popping on up ever since the consoles came on out? Perhaps most frustratingly, Sony has never officially commented on these reported rest mode issues, though some outlets have claimed they are now fixed, which once again, though, I kind of feel like even though they may be mostly fixed for most people, it is still showing up a decent amount, even as in this article and other people in the community. Once again, though, it's a very, very small amount, and Sony can typically go and fix it, but it is like a worrying enough that it is still floating around in the PlayStation community. It is a little bit scary on that end. Also, Times Guide has also tried to go hit up Sony about issues with that, and they'll let them know if they get that. While it's likely is only affecting a very small minority of PS5 systems, it would be great for Sony to clarify the situation, which once again, I would like to hear this too, because I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about the rest mode issues and glitches and how you should never put your console in rest mode. I just want to know if it's safe to do it. And if we keep on seeing this little small sporadic amount of issues, maybe it's not as safe as we think. Now, granted, we're not seeing like full-on console breaking like we saw in the first like month or so, but sometimes maybe you lose save data or stuff like that, which can also be equally as disappointing. So just always be careful if you guys are using rest mode, or as I mentioned in the comments down below, if you guys want to leave a comment and say if you guys have been using it with no issues and all that stuff, just so we could have our own actual community sample size, because it is kind of a big issue, and this has been plaguing the PS5 since launch has actually happened. And also, don't worry too, there's always issues with PC, the Switch, and the Xbox. It's not like this is not like a death blow for the PS5 or anything like that. Like, don't worry about it too much, but just intriguing to kind of know and see. There's also been there's been a lot of basically system updates since launch, and none of the patch notes have actually made any reference in addressing the red mode problems, which is also intriguing. So I'm sure Sony knows, because it's been a very widespread issue with like lots of media attention on it. So I'm kind of curious too as well if it actually is fully fixed or not. And of course, as well, kind of how I've been saying throughout this thing, for the vast majority of PS5 owners, it would seem that rest mode is a useful feature that works as intended. It's just a shame that for a few of us is still as cautious about using the function, the situation remains very murky. Which once again, I do also agree with, because I sometimes just like to know officially, like if there is an issue, if there's not an issue, are they hiding it? Are they mentioning it? So it kind of makes me a little bit weird that they're kind of trying to brush it underneath the bush. But of course, as well, like I said, it's been slowly, I think, being worked on, and maybe that's why they're doing it, because it keeps them getting less and less and less active. But it is still an issue, and it's still floating around for the past 6 months. And I do think if there is like a bigger issue, I would like to know about it, so at least we can kind of know like to keep on avoiding the rest mode or not. So kind of like my little thoughts on this is, it has happened to a few people in the community still. I do keep on seeing this issue popping up every now and then. Thankfully, it's still a very small amount of people, and it's not usually a console-breaking issue. But if you guys are ever playing games that you guys very much care about, like in terms of like a Returnal, even saying in this article, and it's like it could be like a 5-hour run, make sure you guys are just trying your best not to go and like put into rest mode and have your files get messed up while they're saving, or not have the save. I wish I could have worded that better, if you guys know what I mean. But basically, just make sure you guys are always careful whenever you guys are using this. And of course, as well, until we actually see official notice from Sony, just always be a little bit careful on the rest mode, just so your console doesn't get breaked or have any issues with it. Once again, though, thankfully, it's a very small amount of people. It's not the world's biggest issue, but it is very intriguing that it's still happening all these months later. So I guess we'll kind of see throughout these next few months if it gets 100% fixed, whether it's from a hardware issue or more so from software issues. I guess we'll find out. But like I said, leave a comment down below if you guys have been using rest mode, if you guys have had any crashes yourselves and all of that. I'm very curious on that overall. As well, make sure you guys are subscribed for the PS5 giveaway, as well put on the notifications for the channel, or the Amazon links down below for the PS5 disc digital, all that stuff for you guys to check throughout the weekend. Twitter and Twitch link down below if you guys want to follow. Weeble as well. Sign up for Weeble, deposit $100, and you guys go get free stock and free money. Coinbase, you guys go buy $100 worth of any cryptocurrency. You guys go and get free Bitcoin. Without further ado, it's the end of the video, and I'll see you guys up on the next one.